Upside down. See, with this progressive tax system that we have, 45% of Americans are not paying taxes. But yet, that same 45%, they do what? They vote. They vote. So it's very easy. Chris, you get free health care. Dan, you get free education. Tice, you get a free car. You get a free cell phone. And guess what? You're going to pay for it. Because the nanny state is going to reward these people. See, it's a shame right now when the United States of America, people are more willing to sit at home and get unemployment benefits than they are to go out and work. That's not what's going to keep this country going on. Now, as I close, I want to read you a simple little quote. Because those of you all who have been in the military, they'll teach you, a good commander always has his little 3x5 note cards. So, let me share this simple quote with you. The budget should be balanced. The treasury should be refilled. Public debt should be reduced. The arrogance of officialdom should be tempered and controlled. And the assistance to foreign lands should be curtailed, lest Rome becomes bankrupt. People must again learn to work instead of living on public assistance. That was written in 55 BC by Cicero. This is where we're headed in the United States of America. That's why I carry this quote with me each and every place that I go, along with something simple right here next to my heart called the Constitution of the United States of America. We are going to go forth as a nation and as a constitutional republic and understand what that means. That means rule of law. It means this Constitution. And it also means the power of the individual, not the power of this collective grouping that the liberal progressive want to have. My challenge to you right now, members of the Tea Party, never give up, never surrender. Be just the same as Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain on Little Round Top when he was out of ammunition. Bayonets. Be just the same as the men of 101st Airborne Division at Bastogne. When the Germans asked them to surrender, they replied with one word: nuts. Be just the same as Chesty Puller with the Marines when they were surrounded at Chosin Reservoir. And he said, we got the bastards right where we want them because we can attack in any direction. That is the American spirit. That's the spirit of the Tea Party. God bless you all. Thank you for having me. What are your questions? The KU Jayhawk is asking me what happened in the NCAA tournament. We didn't lose to Northern Heights. Yes, ma'am, back in the back.
It's not a question, it's a statement. And I guess you probably realize it. We love you because you speak to our heart and our soul.
Well,
and we thank you for it.
Well, ma'am, let me tell you something. I'm just an American like you. And that will never change. And, a lot of people are concerned about when people get up to Washington, D.C., do they get stupid? Well, let me tell you something. I was born in Georgia. I went to school in Tennessee. And my heart is with this great nation. I don't believe in what's going on in Washington, D.C. I believe in doing the one thing that I've done since 1982 when I was commissioned as a second lieutenant. That's serving you and serving this great nation. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you. How do you feel about our congressmen and senators getting one term and having the same?
Well, it goes right. I know exactly where you're going. Let me tell you something. It goes right back to that quote. It said the arrogance of officialdom must be tempered. Okay, right now we have a ruling class elite in Washington, D.C. And if you're not careful, there's going to be the establishment of a new American Politburo that believe they know what's best for you and for your life. You know, how can they sit up and tell us that this health care bill is good for us, but yet they will not submit themselves to it? So, it is about term limits, and I do believe that we have to have term limits. Let me tell you something. It took me 22 years to get a 55% retirement of my pay. I think it's a shame when a person can go to the Senate or to Congress and serve 6 years and get 100% for the rest of their life. Something's wrong with that. You guys. Yes, ma'am. I'm probably running for dinner. I'll lose a lot of weight. No, I'm running for United States Congress, Congressional District 22, which is right where you're standing here right now. And I'm running against Ron Klein, who is nothing more than a puppet for Nancy Pelosi. Whatever. Yes, ma'am.
And they are all like holiday stores. And I guess how do we get the
The question is, how do we get the younger people motivated and involved? And that's a great question, because that was something that got just turned on us in 2008. Look, the bottom line is, you know, my daughter is 16, and she'll be 17 on Friday. She's a junior down at Archbishop McCarthy. And I got the opportunity to go in and speak to the government class there at Archbishop McCarthy, the seniors. And when I walked into the room, of course, they're sitting there, and I just wrote one simple number on the blackboard. Well, not blackboard, it's whiteboard now. I'm dating myself. I gotta get that grease in my I wrote the number $47,000. And I asked them, what do you think this number represents? And they said, well, maybe that's your pay that you get for what? I said, no. I said, this number represents the amount of debt that you have on your heads right now. And I got their attention. You know, when I had an opportunity to go to Pinecrest School down in Fort Lauderdale, and I talked to the kids at Pinecrest School, and I asked them one simple thing. Who's your biggest rival in football? And they said, North Briar Prep. I said, okay, here we go. It's football season. You guys are out there, you're playing North Briar Prep. At the end of the first half, you're ahead 28-7. How do you guys feel? And they're like, you know, feel great, because we're stomping North Briar Prep. I asked the young ladies, how do y'all feel? The cheerleaders said it was a great time. I mean, the band will be happy to be playing. I said, okay. But you come back out at the beginning of the second half, and you look up there when you come out, you see 21-14. And you start to scratch your head and wonder, you know, is the scoreboard broke? So finally, you get over to the sideline, your coach pulls you together. He said, let me tell you what happened, team. You know, a bunch of people got together up in the press box, and they saw the score. And they were kind of concerned about the self-esteem of North Briar Prep. And they were worried about that maybe this would not end up being a very fair football game. So what they did was they took a touchdown from you and they gave it over to North Briar Prep. So now it's 21-14. Every one of those students said, that is not fair. That's wrong. And you know what I told them? That's what the federal government is doing right now. And they got it. Because I told them that all of a sudden, you produced 4 touchdowns, but one of them got taken away and given you to another team. Now, how are you going to play the second half? You know what they said? We're not going to score as many touchdowns because we don't know how many will be taken away from us. See, when you break it down in terms that they understand, they get the message. See, conservative principles and values mean everything to everyone. It is about your individual responsibility and accountability. It's about you having the liberty to go out with the opportunities that this country provides you to make a way for yourself. Nobody wants to be enslaved. Everyone wants to be empowered. But what we have to have are candidates that can take that message into the high schools and to the colleges. And the other thing that we have to do is about the Facebook. It's about the Twitter. It's about the YouTube. It's about connecting. You know, we cannot sit back, and I'm going to be very fair when I say this, and I hope it doesn't upset anybody, but this is the way of politics. You can no longer run old white guys against cool guys. Okay? Just think about what happened. Bob Dole, Bill Clinton.